Hi, everybody. Listen, if you were absent Tuesday through Thursday, January 10th through the 12th, this video is for you. There are a couple of you guys that have been gone the last couple of days. And so let me explain what we've been doing. And if possible, maybe you can get caught up a little bit before you come back to class. If not, then you've got extra days to get some things done. So the objective is that I need you guys to be able to understand how the periodic table is arranged according to their atomic number and physical and chemical properties. We're learning about that because you guys are getting ready to start researching your element that you choose for your superhero or supervillain. Remember, you're going to personify one element from the periodic table of elements, and that will be either a hero or a villain. It's whatever you choose. So in these 3 days, I had the kids watch this video, What's an Atom? That was done on the very first day. I think this video is only like 4 to 5 minutes. And so take time to watch it. It's a really good review from the first Google slide that we did, the student notes that you guys turned in, but it also incorporates how the periodic table of elements was first arranged, who did it, and then how different physicists after that decided, the elements fit into this table. And then I want you guys to go ahead and open up this PDF. This is a student, individual, independent activity. The kids are just being given class time to work to read through this whole packet. So let me kind of take you through it really quickly, okay? There are 35 slides total. This is an example of a periodic table. You guys, if you go on Google and you type in periodic table of elements, you're going to see all different colors, all different information, some things way more detailed than what we definitely need in 7th grade. But this is a really good one for you guys to just come back and reconsider. This actually is used inside the text on one of the slides later on. And it just talks about how the elements are broken up into different types. So you've got metals, you've got non-metals here in the purple, and then the metalloids are starting with boron, these 6 elements that kind of run stair step throughout. If it's a solid, it's going to be in bolded black letters, the symbol is. If it's a liquid, and when I say solid, liquid, and gas, what I mean is it's in its natural state on Earth, does it exist as a solid, liquid, and gas? And so on the periodic table, you can see the ones that are in the black bolded, those exist as a solid. If they are red bolded, those exist as a liquid. And then anything that's white will be a gas form. Okay? All right, so this is the way that the slides work. They're divided into different segments or sections or chapters. You'll notice that we're at a different chapter or segment because the title of that segment is centered at the top. You'll also notice that there's some vocabulary terms that are listed right underneath the title of that section. So in this case, the very first section is what are simple substances? The vocabulary word. I would like you guys to go ahead and highlight that. So pick one color to highlight the vocabulary word. And then as you go through, your job is to read and annotate. And I'm going to tell you, I just want to make sure that you're reading this. And so you need to annotate so that I know that you are practicing the active reading. I want to know that you're actually reading this information and not just trying to find the answers to the questions at the end of the session or at the end of the segment. So you'll come in this first paragraph. Sorry, the first paragraph is titled The Elements, and it gives you an example. First of all, it tells you what the definition is. It's that it's a substance that can be broken down into other substances. And then it gives examples like water can be broken down into hydrogen and oxygen. So maybe something that you could do is you can circle water and then underline hydrogen and underline oxygen. So that would be a really easy way to annotate. You can also write yourself a little note. You can give more examples down at the bottom, whatever. So your job is to read and annotate the text. And then you'll notice on each page, there is at least one sticky note that has a reading question. That reading question will be found on the page that the sticky note is on. Okay, so the question here is, what is an element? You're just going to pull that out of that paragraph, write the answer down, and then move on. You'll notice on this page, there are 3 paragraphs, and I've got 3 sticky notes. Okay, some of these paragraphs are shorter than others, and so you may not have as much, if any, annotation. Again, remember, the purpose of the annotation is just so that I know that you're reading and that you're thinking about what you're reading. Okay. And then on this page, there's just one sticky note. So then you're going to get to a page that's titled What You Learned. Notice that all of these sentences are declarative. They're not questions. This is telling you this is what you should have learned from this section. If you're going through this and you read through this and you say, oh, wait a second, I didn't remember that, or I don't remember reading that, or where was that in a paragraph, then you need to go back and double check, make sure that you've got that part annotated, or at least make sure that you've read it so you understand what it is that you were supposed to have learned. After that page, you'll get to an end of the section quiz. You absolutely can go back and look at your slides in order to make sure that you've got the correct answers. So make sure that you are following the prompts and answering the questions. So this first one, which of the following substances or elements? Go ahead and circle them. Again, if you need to go back and look, please do that. So if you're having a hard time thinking about whether some of these things are substances, are they things made, or if they are elements or things made of elements, you can just go back. So if you look at that very first one, if you go back to the very first slide, remember we read that, whoops, I went back too far. We read that water can be broken down into hydrogen and oxygen. So if an element is something that cannot be broken down, then water cannot be an element because it is broken down into hydrogen and oxygen. So you would not circle that word. You wouldn't circle water. But I know that hydrogen and oxygen together make water, and I can't break anything down. Once I get to oxygen, I can't break oxygen down into anything else. And so you would circle oxygen. So you just go through the rest of those and answer those questions. Okay, and then you'll come on to the next section. Again, vocabulary words. Read, annotate the text, answer the question on the sticky notes, and keep moving on. Ultimately, there are 8 quizzes that I'm going to have you guys turn in. And then you are actually going to turn in the entire packet so that I can check your annotations, make sure that you actually read and annotated. Okay? That's what we've been working on. If you've been absent, you may not have the whole thing done, and that's okay. Just get done what you can, and then you and I will work together. Now, one thing I need to make sure that you understand is I am not going to be here on Thursday the 13th. My daughter is having her baby, so I'm super excited. Let's see, Annie. Actually, you know what I'm going to say? My grandson's name is Gio. And so I'm going to say Gio is born today. Oops. So I'm not going to be here on Friday. We'll have a sub, and you will have class time to work. The rest of the kids will be working on their research project. So they will have chosen an element already. You'll have to choose based on what's left. If you have any questions about that, you can email me. I'm going to be checking my emails throughout the entire weekend. So obviously email me on Friday if you have any questions about that. Otherwise, you know what? We'll be back at school on the 17th, and I'll see you then, okay? Okay, take care, everybody. Talk to you later.